Dividing with two-digit divisors. Here is your problem. I would like you to practice this problem independently. So go ahead and pause the video, and when you have completed the problem, you can resume and check your work. So here we are. We have 6,744 divided by 24. If I look at my 24, it's closer to 20 than it is 30. So I'm going to do my 2's, and I get that from it being my 20's. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. And because I'm doing 20's, I'm going to go ahead and add a 0 on the end of each one of those. Now remember, this is just for you to have a good idea of where you should guess and check. It's a strategy to use. Notice I'm putting my guess and check area over here. I've got everything set up and I'm ready to begin. So I have to ask myself, does 24 go into 6? And that is a no. So I'm going to block out the thousands place value. Again, I can put a 0 or an X. Then I have to ask myself, does 24 go into 67? And because 67 is larger, the answer would be yes. I'm going to come through and find that 67 would fall between here, and that would be 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to start with that just to make sure. So I'm going to do 24 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Okay, so that actually puts me over. So I am going to try 24 times 2. It's always important to check to make sure that you don't go over, because then you're going to end up your leftovers will be larger than your divisor. 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 2 is 4. So it is clear that it goes in 2 times. And 2 times 24, again, I already have my answer worked out, is 48. My next step, according to my process, is I am going to subtract. And as you notice here, I will have to borrow to make this a 5. Borrow that, carry that 1 over to make 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. And 5 minus 4 is 1. I'm done subtracting, and now I need to bring down the 4. Okay, so I'm now back to dividing. I need to ask myself, does 24 go into 194? The answer is yes. Let's see where a good place to guess and check would be. Wow, that's a pretty large number, so that gets me to about here, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let's try 24 times 9. So 4 times 9 is 36. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 3, I have 19, 20, 21. And I'm over. So that is not going to work. But it's okay that I checked it just to make sure. I'm going to back down to an 8. So 8 times 4 is 32. I carry my 3. 8 times 2 is 16. And then we have 17, 18, 19. So we have 192. Okay, so that looks like it gets me as close as I can without going over. So it goes in 8 times. And 8 times 24 I already have here, and that is 192. And now it's time to subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2, and then these would be zeros. I am not done. I still have to account for the ones place value, and I still have a number to bring down. And that again is why I always ask that you draw arrows to help remember or remind yourself that there are still numbers that need to be brought down. Now, look at this. 24 goes into 24 one time. 1 times 24 would be 24. I subtract and I have 0 as a remainder. So my quotient for this particular problem would be 281. I hope you did a good job. Let's try one more practice problem. Go ahead and try this one on your own. And so pause the video, and when you are ready, go ahead and resume and check your work. Okay, let's check that work. Let's see, we have 4,948 divided by 11. 11 is closest to 10, so I'm going to do my tens, which I might not even have to write my tens down, but I'm going to just for the sake of keeping things the same. And sometimes we like to take shortcuts because we think that we just want the shortest way possible, and sometimes that ends up hurting us because we make silly mistakes. So I have my guess and check area ready. I've got my multiples ready. And I'm going to ask myself, does 11 go into 4? It does not, so I'm going to block out the thousands place value. Once again, you could put a 0 or an X. Now, does 11 go into 49? The answer is yes. Approximately, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 times possibly. So let's try it. 11 times 4, remembering that the number we're multiplying is our divisor, not what we use here. This is simply a strategy to give us a place to start. So, 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4, and it gives us 44. I realize that many of you could do this easily in your head, but like I said earlier, if sometimes we take those shortcuts, we make silly mistakes. So it is a good idea to write that down just to be very clear. So 11 goes into 49 4 times. 4 times 11 is 44. We're going to then subtract. 9 minus 4 is 5. And 4 minus 4 is 0. Our next step is to bring down. See how the process doesn't change? Now we have 11 goes into 54. So I'm going to do 11 times 55 and just have it here because I know that fact in my head. So 11 goes into 54. Does it go in 5 times? Actually, it doesn't, because that would be over. And that is a mistake kids would make too. So it actually goes in 4 times again. So 4 times 11 is 44. We're going to subtract. And we're going to have a 0 and a 1. And then I need to bring down my 8. So now I have 108. Let's see. Here is a hint. You're never ever going to be writing a 2-digit number up here. It is only always going to go in by a single digit. So if you say that it would be a 2-digit, then something is wrong. So because this is such a high number, I'm going to try 9. And that would be 99. So it goes in 9 times, and I'm going to be very careful about making sure I line up my digits correctly according to place value. See how I did the 1s and the 10s? So I do need to borrow this. I'm going to borrow all the way over, and I'm actually going to make that 9. Make this 18. 18 minus 9 is 9. And then 9 minus 9 is 0. So my answer is 449 and 9/11ths. I hope you did a good job, and I hope this is starting to get easier for you. Good luck on today's assignment. If you need to go back and review the videos, you can do that at any time. You can use this video or the video before this. Good luck.